guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jager of JLoz, and joining me today is Xavier.
Yeah, hey guys, my channel is Cthulhu X, so go check that out.
Yep, Xavier's channel will be in the top right of your screen right now, and in the description. Now, today we'll be doing something new today. For the next few episodes, we'll be going over a review of the Batman movies, starting from the first 1966 Batman movie to all the way up to, well, maybe even Robert Pattinson's Batman, if it gets to that time, if we make it.
We'll see.
So we're going to do a review of the first Batman in 1966 and Adam West. A classic, isn't that right, Xavier?
Don't know if it's a classic, but we'll see. Never seen it before, but
Agreed. We'll get into it.
Right, yeah, we'll watch the film.
Make sure to like and subscribe, check out Xavier's channel, and hope you enjoy the review.
No uploads yet, guys, sorry, but thinking of doing something.
Alright, fellas, glad to you're still here. We just finished watching the movie. We just finished watching Batman the movie, Adam West, 1966. Xavier, I think you'll agree with me here. Bluebeard, the best part of the film.
Bluebeard was an absolute legend. He died a hero, and he was my favourite part of the movie. He was definitely the highlight for me, just watching his incredible, capers through the confusing world of Gotham City. Just beautiful, and, he was definitely the highlight, but there are lots of other good parts.
Yeah, I agree. I very much enjoyed the final battle scene between the villains with the pals and the thwips. We've been holding on for those for the whole movie, haven't we, Xavier?
Well, I was definitely disappointed that there wasn't more pow and thud, but I guess...
Kaplop sort of did it for me.
Yeah.
Once I saw that kaplop.
I did like the penguins' strange mouth noises as well. They were quite entertaining.
Yes. No, I did like that. Now, Xavier, I think you'll agree with me here. Joker, not so good.
It was very disappointing because, I haven't heard good things because I haven't heard anything from anyone.
True.
But I was kind of expecting, most Jokers are good except for,
Leto,
disappointing. But, no, I was actually quite disappointed. The costume, makeup and stuff was fine. Actor was fine. He just got nothing to do.
I mean, except that bloody hair. That hair changed colour.
That was actually worrying. I was thinking maybe it was just shot on a different lens or something, but it definitely looked like a different colour both.
Yeah.
And I think the villains were the biggest disappointment because I actually kind of liked Catwoman.
Yeah, Catwoman.
And they definitely got the look of the Penguin down pat. He's probably one of the best looking
characters
penguins I've seen. Well, not penguin.
Towards the comics.
But they really were just all the same. They were just a bunch of goons, and they did absolutely nothing. Catwoman had a kind of double personality to parallel. Well, we talk about this like it's a serious movie. It's obviously a parody of the source material, because back in the 60s, they could not do this character justice, really.
Absolutely
not.
not.
They have him running around getting his copter, his shark repellent, best scene of the movie, throwing bombs at... Well, he didn't actually do that, but...
No, tearing them limb from limb.
That
was dark.
And that one throwaway line, hey, careful, they all have mothers. And then they all die later on.
They all die.
Sent into the abyss.
Yes. Turned into large blobs of antimatter, as if it's just nothing else. They did, I cared for those JPEG men.
Yeah, when they turned into JPEGs, that was quite amusing as well.
Yes, they had a little bit of an outer glow on them, a little bit of a nice spread.
Yeah, that was an incredible scene.
Yes. Now, I think, I liked the film. I liked Alfred. You can't really do a bad Alfred.
Well, I'll be real, he was in 2 scenes.
Yeah, I know, but when he was there, it was iconic to see Alfred wearing a mask and glasses.
Oh, that was genius.
It was genius.
We'll play that clip.
We'll play that clip.
Yeah. Well, I definitely enjoyed it. It wasn't abysmal like some of these that we're going to get to.
Yes.
But, so it obviously wasn't a real Batman movie. It was definitely a comedy. I felt a bit of early James Bond vibes there. I don't know if that was just me. It was definitely funny for the most part.
Yeah. It was very long too. It was longer than it needed to be. There was a few climaxes there.
I was expecting maybe 90 minutes. It's, I think, an hour 45.
Yeah,
so...
and over an hour and a half is a bit long for a
Yeah.
movie like this.
Yeah, it's... well, yeah, I was never bored.
No, same.
But it was all a bit samey. There was some... I did like... I was very excited for the all of the UN members to just become this massive creature from the thing, but
no such luck.
Batman had a dust separation thing, which is a running theme in this movie, just Deus Ex Machinas, which basically just solve all their problems for them. I understand that's the joke, but it was... Some of them were a bit of a letdown, but no, mainly they were quite funny.
Good movie. Now, my main issue, now, people would know that I'm very tough on not going towards the comics. The incarnation of the Riddler was a very disappointing part of the film. They got his costume right. I think he looked fine. He's always balding in every incarnation that he has, old Edward Nigma. But I just think Riddler's... He's supposed to have a shred of intelligence as some sort of jest above the rest of them, but it seemed the smartest person in that whole submarine was bloody Bluebeard and Catwoman.
Oh, I think Catwoman was decent, but yeah, as I've already said, every other villain, these iconic, masterfully written villains, just become bumbling buffoons who just jump around and get thrown into the water. It's very disappointing.
Especially when Riddler's main shtick is his intelligence and his ability to create masterful personalised traps for Batman and Robin, and always leaving riddles. He was a buffoon, as you've said. He was an idiot.
He wrote a few cloud messages.
Yeah, a few cloud messages. Awful riddles. Definitely not a riddler that I would certainly think is a proper incarnation. But they sort of fix that with incarnations like Penguin and Catwoman. So I also, Xavier, you'll agree with me here, the soundtrack, a bit, it was
definitely
ishy.
very repetitive and definitely very 60s pulpy sort of stuff. But no, overall, I thought it was fine. I liked the Batman theme. And I haven't actually seen the show, so that might make the villains a bit more fleshed out.
Yeah.
But on another note, I definitely enjoyed the set design and the props towards each villain. It was definitely corny, but the whole movie is corny because it's not really to do justice to this character.
And they were very detailed scenes, weren't they?
No, I enjoyed all of the set. I like the submarine. I like the little bar that they were at for a bit of the movie. Yeah, it was like, I can't say it wasn't a fun movie to watch. Definitely. I can't say it's a masterpiece. It's probably not even a great film, but it was funny, it was entertaining consistently. I was never bored.
Yes.
And that's really all I'm asking from this pulpy, corny 60s Batman flick.
Yes, now we focused on the villains and we focused on the soundtrack. Now, I'll give my opinion. I thought the Batman costume was, for the 60s, it was okay.
I actually kind of disagree, honestly. Yeah. The little ears, the stuff.
The nose was disgusting. I hated the nose and the eyebrows painted on.
Oh, actually, this movie had a $1.7 million budget, I think.
Gee whiz.
I think that's for the 60s, though, so that's actually...
With inflation.
Yeah, with inflation, that's actually a fair bit.
Yeah. Well, that meant like they could afford to do massive explosions and really detailed set pieces.
JPEG men, but yeah.
But they also had the there was a few scenes there where the design for explosions and laser blasts were actually quite detailed for their time.
Well, they're definitely very reminiscent of 60s and Looney Tunes cartoons and that kind of thing.
But talented for their own time.
Oh, yes, yeah, definitely. And I also enjoyed Robin mercilessly gunning down this submarine with
disregard
20 people in there just pew, 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 he just keeps shooting at it.
And the tension of those vials knocking off the whole UN.
That was stupid. That was absolutely stupid.
I think I'll play our reaction to that scene right now. Whoa! Robin!
Robin just
Robin, don't kill! He's coming back again!
Brutal! Oh my god. Yeah.
Um,
and when he spills the stuff and it goes everywhere, that was good. Yeah, no, I actually, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to talk about this movie, really. It's even hard to go in depth or anything because it's very simple. You get what you paid for. It's hard to go into more detail without repeating myself. I enjoyed it. It's fine for what it is. Tad long, but you don't really feel the run time unless you're on, tight schedule. But yeah, no, definitely worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch.
I think what do you think of the what do you think of the plot overall?
Well, no, I think the plot flip flops between climaxes. It's well, you know what? I don't mind it. It's fine. It's serviceable. It's not really a plot centric movie. It's just more gags, jokes, Batman.
And if you're fed up with the dark and edgy Batmans that we've seen in the last few years, like Christian Bale and what's that guy? What's the
Ben
Affleck?
Benny.
I think this is a nice light-hearted watch if you're fed up with the really gritty takes on the Dark Knight. And I think if you're not ready to watch some hardcore violence and some dark, deep voices, I think this movie is a great turn to, and especially, probably I would say, a good start to the Batman.
Or I actually, I'm not a massive Batman comic read. I do like Batman. I've seen most of the movies. I kind of disagree. This is more of a comedic version of Batman. So if you start with this, you might get the wrong idea. Although, yeah, it is definitely a more kid-friendly version than all the others.
It was what Batman was at that time during the comics. The Scott Snyder runs and the Dark Knight Returns and those sorts of things.
He was definitely
hadn't sort of taken their flight. So this was basically Batman at that time. Still in the tights and still with a young Dick Grayson Robin. And it's for those who grew up in that era, especially for those who grew up with the Adam West TV show, this movie is a great watch, and it's still a great watch to this day, obviously, even with our...
It hasn't actually aged that poorly, I'll
Exactly.
be honest. There are moments where you go, ha ha ha, funny! But, no, but it is actually fairly graceful in its aging, so, yeah, it's decent.
And it's with films like these with massive budgets, we wouldn't really care about this, but I'm a big fan of casts, obviously. They do have an actually talented cast, like CESAR, ROMERO, Frank Gorshin, and Lee Merriweather. Yeah. They're talented actors of their time.
It was definitely had good actors. It's just lots of them had nothing to do, absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
to do.
and it wasn't an Oscar worthy performance from anything.
Yeah, no.
It's
they did. Yeah, it was just kind of one-liners and stuff. But when the villains were walking around doing terrible puns, I was getting vibes of a stage production because it was the set and they were walking around each other and just talking to the camera and saying stuff. It was definitely giving me those sorts of vibes.
Yeah, and I think with actors like those, it sort of gave me the sort of early Star Wars sorts of vibes with Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah, definitely.
Big actors of their time taking on small roles. But of course,
Star Wars wasn't so indie, but yeah.
Well, no, but they're taking on small roles, and I think these actors, for better or worse, gave the on-screen debut for many on the big screen for many characters like Catwoman, and I think
they definitely gave a lot of the characters. They did
them justice.
Not a lot, but they did them justice, especially in looks. I don't think any of them looked poor. Batman was a bit stupid. Robin looked exactly the same as the comics, and the four villains actually really
they were very comically
still to this
adept.
day. I think they are quite
and we've seen variations on the characters like Jared Leto's Joker and Danny DeVito's Penguin, but this film decided with looks and the sort of the vibe of the film, the way it sort of felt, it was like just jumping into a live-action comic book.
Which is definitely a good experience for most. Anyway, do you want to get to the ratings?
Yeah, so ratings? I think that's a good little discussion on the film. We'll keep this short because We've got to sort ourselves out for the rest of the night. But I reckon this film can be scored out of... If there's one thing of this film, and you guys are waiting for us to touch on it, we're getting to it.
One day.
If there's one thing that this film is remembered for, it's the infamous shark repellent scene. It's all over memes and it's everywhere. You can't can't leave this film without hearing a holy something Batman or a shark repellent joke. So I think it's appropriate that this film is rated out of shark repellent cans. So
yes.
I think this film, in my opinion, it has a great cast. Not the best takes on villains, but certainly the best aesthetic for the film. It's not one of my favourite films, and this was my first time watching it, I'll be honest, so I'm still on raw thoughts. But I liked Nelson Riddle. I liked his theme music. Even if it was a bit repetitive, it was the first sort of massively budgeted superhero film. So with all that in mind, I would rate Batman the movie 1966 Adam West. I would rate it 6 cans of shark repellent out of 10.
For me, so my rating, lots of people have been, kind of desensitized to ratings because of stuff like IGN giving everything a 9. But for me, on my scale, a 6 is a really, not really. A 6 is a good movie, like a good, serviceable movie. Maybe not worth a rewatch anytime soon, but it is a good movie. Even a 5 is an okay movie. So, with that in mind, I'm probably going to give this movie a 6 shark repellent cans out of 10. But this is my first time watching, and I only watched it a bit ago, so on a rewatch it could go to a 5. I don't think it'd make it to a 7. That doesn't... I like this movie, actually, but yeah, I don't think it'd make it to a 7.
And I think Xavier and I have the sort of same opinions on these sorts of films. I think a really bad film gets a 3. I think that's
I think
that starts going into the bad.
A 3 is probably one of the worst scores you can get, because if you're a 1, you're probably an ironic masterclass, and if you're a 2, you can enjoy it for its irony. But if you're a 3 or a 4 for me is just a bland
and
mess.
it's trying to be good and it's failed.
Yeah.
And I think rating this movie a 6 to start leaves us with a lot of breathing room for future films.
Definitely.
We still are yet to touch Tim Burton, and we're still yet to touch
next
The
week,
Dark
baby.
Knight. We're still yet to touch all these absolute masterclasses of movies that are Oscar winning, and my favourites certainly lie in what's up ahead.
Yeah.
So I think, Xavier, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up the review?
Well, no final thoughts, but next week we're doing Tim Burton, 1989, Batman, and so you preferably legally attain your copy of that film, and so I've seen it, Jager has not. I personally very much like it, and I'm excited for a rewatch, and I'm sure Jager will hopefully feel the same, but...
Yep. I'm excited to watch it. So I think we'll wrap up the review there, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for joining us, fellas, as we explored Batman the movie of 1966. Make sure you check out my latest videos, which will be in the end card. Subscribe to Xavier, Icy Seal 25, Glider Guy. They'll be in the top right of your screen and in the description. Join us next episode as we watch Batman. Is it Batman 1989 or just Batman?
Well, you can just call it Batman, but the year's preferable. Yes.
With Tim Burton and all of the basic start of our reviews. So join us next episode. Make sure to drop the video a like, subscribe to Xavier, and keep an eye on his account, as we'll definitely see some new stuff from his account later on. So Xavier, say goodbye.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
And make sure to like and subscribe. I'm Jager of JL Oz. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next episode. Cheers.